So today we have the 2022 Toyota Tacoma back in the garage. As I promised, we're going to do a video on the tonneau cover install for this. So here's the general setup that I'm going to be using. See the tonneau cover, I ordered it on Amazon. I will get the part number for you guys if you guys want to order the same one after you watch the install. But basically, because this truck has the rail system on the sides, I will be using these brackets. Normally you can just use these clamps on their own just to grab the side of the bed, but this one does have the rail system, so I'll be using that. Came with this funny little light that you're supposed to glue in there somewhere. Probably not going to install that. I don't really see much of a value in it. It also kind of looks very cheap. But basically, these little guys will slide into the rail system and help me grab these brackets in place, and then the clamps can grab onto those brackets, and that's what's going to hold the tonneau cover. There's a weather stripping that goes over in the front where the tonneau cover sits on top of. That's just to seal the bed off. So that's probably the first part of the install, and then everything else will follow from there. So apparently the seal strip is actually only necessary if the front of the tailgate is lower than the sides. Otherwise air will get in there and cause some flapping issues with your tailgate. I don't have that issue. The front is just as high as, if not slightly higher than the sides. So I think I'll be okay. So let's just go ahead and get this thing on here and let's see how this goes. First things first, I have to identify what the front of this thing is. So the instructions really aren't clear as to what's the front and what's the back. However, just by looking at the images, I noticed that there's a larger gap here than there is here between the panels. So in the image, the larger gap goes toward the front, so I'm assuming this side is the front of the tail of the tonneau cover. If you look at the top of it, you'll see these blocks at the front. I assume that these are stopper blocks just so this thing's not tapping against your window or the back of your cab. So that is the front, and that's what I'm going to line toward the front first. So basically just going to pick this whole thing up and put it over and then go from there. Those front blocks contained little rubber blocks. It says to take them out. So did that. Let's get this big box folded out of the way here. Now, in order to take advantage of the slide rail system, in order to mount these things, you got to take off the end cap there and pull off that piece so you can slide the little clamps into there. So let's do that right now. First thing is this thing. You can just do this. Should come right out. this thing, gotta apply some pressure, but it comes out. You're gonna slide 6 of these things in here. You can't really get them on any other way, by the way, so this is the way to do it. You're gonna put 6 in on each side. It kind of sucks because this to a degree is eating up your bed rail system, but there are attachments for the bed rail that can go in between and don't have to slide in from the back, just like that one I took off, so it shouldn't fully limit my use of the system, but it is kind of a nuisance. Just keep that in mind that, you know, you might have a small trade-off. And of course, fitment on these things is less than perfect, so it might give you a little bit of trouble sliding them through. Alright, there's 6 on that side. I'll do the other, and then I'll show you what you gotta do next in order to clamp this thing down. With those parts installed into the bed rail, I'm going to go ahead and take one of these brackets and 2 of these bolts and move them to the front on either side of the bed. Now these, you always want to put the spring washer and then the flat washer afterward. These are going to hold this bracket down onto those little parts that I slid into the bed rail, and that's how that's going to mount. And then the screw coming off the tonneau cover will go through this bracket, and this bracket will clamp onto here, and that's what's going to hold the front on. So I'm going to go ahead and do this over by the front. Those bolts have a size 14 head on them, by the way. Let's go ahead and do that. Alright, take the bracket, take these adjusters, these are very poorly made, in my opinion. I'll leave that loose until I get the other side in. Then I'll adjust them both down. Brackets on, all I really got to do is go around and install the little clamps to each of the screws, and then I can clamp all of the stuff down. If you look at these, there's a little metal shaft through the center, right? So you see that pin? It has a little threaded hole in it, and that threaded hole has to align to this. The screw has to go through there into the threaded hole in this pin, so that then you can thread it on and attach it. And if you look at this stuff carefully, you see this little clamp? This is going to grab into the bracket. Basically, when you tighten this, it'll pull this up and grab the bracket. So let's go ahead and start installing that. One thing you're going to need to do is actually just align all of those with some kind of pin. Got that threaded on. I'll finish tightening it from the bottom once I get all of this aligned the way I want it. So I spent some time trying to line the tonneau cover to the lines on the plastic liner on top of the bed. However, I realized that the Tacoma's bed has a slight taper to it. It actually tapers like this toward the cab, tapers out, and it's narrower toward the back. So that means you'll never fully get that aligned you'll kind of see more of the outline of that liner in the front than you will in the back. Just is what it is. So now I'm just going to go in there and tighten down all the clamps, and this thing will be done. Don't fully thread any of these sides just yet. Kind of want to make sure the screw is not going down at an angle when you do this. Kind of want to adjust both sides simultaneously, bit by bit, until you get it to behave. You're basically compressing the rubber seal on the bottom of this, so it's gonna take a little time, it's gonna take a little work. Alright, with everything adjusted, clamped down, this thing is now fully installed. I definitely think that the method of installation could be better. The fitment is not 100% what I would want, and in particular I just don't like the little clamping system. I think that they could have done a better job there. It's not the most precise or accurate way of doing it, and definitely those front clamps, like that style leaves a lot to be desired. I wish they'd have used something a little more sturdy, but overall I don't think this is going to go anywhere. I mean, fancier units range in the thousands of dollars, and this thing was like 400, somewhere in that neighborhood. So it's just, you get what you pay for, like most things in life. The thing itself is pretty solid. It's nice fiberglass reinforced plastic. It's just the clamping system is not the best, but at the end of the day, all said and done, it looks fantastic. I can't complain. I'm going to take the truck for a drive and just see how that holds up. I'll let you guys know in the future how it's holding up long term. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, feel free to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you're notified when I post up another one. If you have any feedback, feel free to leave that in the comment section. Maybe there's something about this clamping system that you know that I don't. Any help would be greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you guys for watching.